Welcome back, everybody, to this episode of the new build that we just got. So let's take a look at it. Hope you guys like it. This is a rare find for us. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this in the springtime after we get the 240 done, which we'll be doing. Giving you guys an update here in a little bit about that. So stay tuned. Okay, we are back, and as you can see, this is the new build. It is a two-door Blazer 1500. But what's special about this is this right here. This is a 6.5 diesel turbo diesel that came factory from '94 in this truck. Now, I think that's rare because not too many of the 1500s ever came with diesels. There were a couple Silverados, which in '94 this was considered a Silverado Blazer and not an actual, just a Blazer. '95 they changed it over to Tahoe and they did away with the Blazer. So this here, like I said, has the turbo diesel, and that's what it looks like right there. Everything's pretty much still factory on it. Besides, '93 and '94, they did the piece. What is it? PMD. I think it's PMD they called it. Sorry for the wind. It's like super windy out today. But the PMD usually sat over here underneath that intake there, and it was famous for always overheating. Why GM stuck it there? Don't know. But this is also known as a Detroit diesel. 6.5. Even though they didn't mark it with Detroit Diesel's stamps and they have GM stamps all over it, it was manufactured by Detroit in the Detroit plants. So it's got the GM8 turbo, which was a nice upgrade from the 6.2 and the 6.5 non-turbo versions. It gave you a little bit more life. But what this one here is, it has the mechanical injection underneath, so it no longer has electronical injection. It's got 40 horsepower marine injectors, and I think it just runs really good. You know, these weren't built for powerhouses. These were built for reliability and not for like a lot of power. They were used all the way up until from 1982 to 2000 in the Humvees and some of the Silverados. Usually you would see these in a 2500 series or the military and civilian H1 Hummers. Yep, that's right. This is the same motor that's in the Hummers that the military uses. So one of the things that they do say to do is we're going to talk a little bit about, and some of the things you should look for when buying a 6.2 that I've learned over the last week. So yeah. Even though you can see the guy that had it before, it was a wiring mess. He just threw wires everywhere. It used to be an old plow truck, so it does have some rust, but we're going to tackle that in the springtime. I think this is a pretty cool truck because you just don't see these anywhere. And from some of the guys I've been talking to, they said they really don't ever see these in the 1500s. So I'm still looking to see how many were actually manufactured from the years of them putting these motors in these trucks. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about when you go to look for one of these 6.5s, from what I've been reading, the 6.2s are going to be similar to it, but the number one thing that you really want to check for is the glow plugs. If the glow plugs don't work on this thing, you ain't getting this thing started. The guy that I bought it off of had been starting it with some starting fluid to get it working. This side of the motor here, none of the glow plugs were hooked up. They were all bad. That side had them all hooked up, but when I changed them, not one of these glow plugs, all 8 of these, did not work. So I have replaced all these, which were actually very simple. Driver's side took me about 10 minutes to replace them. Very simple, very open. I'll give you a shot of that here in a second. And the passenger side is a little harder with the turbo here and the intake. Best way to do it is right underneath here in the wheel well. You can actually see all 4 of them right there, and then all 3 of them, the front 3. The back one, number 7 on this motor, you're gonna see up underneath here. So that's the first thing. The second thing, if you ever got buying one of these trucks, one of the things you want to see on the starter, and I've learned a lot about this as well too, the starter is a really big starter, because what it does is it's a gear reduction starter, and because it needs a lot of torque to be able to turn this motor over. So this starter has a bracket on the back side right up underneath here. This bracket was not hooked up when I got it. So I'm going to explain a little bit about why that's important here in a second. But when you go to buy a starter and you make sure it's the right starter, they had 2 different versions of this. The starter that was in it when I got it was for a manual. That's no go for this truck. I tried to do a lot of research. Nobody can tell me why, but the starter that was in here was a manual, so we changed it out for an automatic, and the bracket was not hooked up. And that bracket, the reason you need that is it's so heavy and such a long starter, it'll actually lean on your motor and it'll crack the corner of it over on the transmission side, and then you can actually have a lot more damage and you won't be able to get your truck started. So make sure that bracket's on it. That is a must. I did look it up because I didn't think I had it at first, but from what I saw on eBay, they have some of these brackets and you can get them for 15 to 20 bucks. I think some of them are 30 bucks. So definitely want to make sure that that starter is hooked up with the bracket. Make sure it's secure. Make sure it's the right starter too. If you pull the inspection cover off the torque converter cover, you can actually see it, and I'll show a picture of it here in a second to show you what the difference is between the 2 starters. It's not much. I don't know why, but it's something with the nose and why it doesn't work right. So those are the two major things I've learned so far on this. The mechanical issue for the PMD, that's another issue you want to check. If you're having problems where it's not firing correctly, or after it heats up a little bit, it shuts down, your PMD might be a problem. And they have a relocation kit for it, so you can do one of 2 ways. They have a relocation kit that actually goes right up on the manifold over here and actually bolts up so it helps cool it down and gets it out from underneath the intake. Or a lot of people are talking about they have a relocation kit that goes all the way down to the bumper, and you mount it to the front of the bumper, so that whole front bumper distributes the heat and pulls it off and helps cool it. So another one they were talking about is this air pump down here, which this air pump is still hooked up. They said that's something that you want to do to get away from that. The air pump actually goes out and can lock up and cause some problems. I was reading about how this one guy was bomb-proofing some of this stuff on this motor here to make it bulletproof, and he recommended that's one of the things they do. Another thing too that you can do to help improve reliability on this is if you start having heating issues where it's trying to overheat, they did talk about a dual thermostat system where you can change this out. If you're in higher temperature climates more year around, then you can change it out for a dual temperature system here where it has 2 thermostats, and this whole housing here changes. And then they also talked about it's a direct bolt. If you use the clutch from a 6.6 Duramax, you can bolt the fan and the clutch right up to this motor here, and it's a little bit bigger, a little bit more robust blade to be able to pull some cool air through that radiator. And then of course you can also upgrade the radiator to an all aluminum, like 3-row or 4-row radiator. So what else have we learned? Power steering lines. This one here had some rusted stuff, and of course that's all part of the Midwest rust belt. It had some rust on some of it, so we did get those changed out. Those are actually not too terribly bad, but the major issues you're gonna see with these 6.5s is gonna be the glow plugs, the PMD, and then the starter is another one. You know, I see some people talk about it that know a little bit about these motors, but that starter was one that really made it difficult for us, and we had to go and learn a lot about these motors pretty quick. So let's take a look around. So you'll see down here, that's one of the glow plugs. All it is a spade connector that hooks right up to it, and it just screws right into the block. When you're working on this, if you can't get it right away, don't try to force it and put a lot of force onto it. If you can get an impact through that wheel well, just lightly tap it with like an electric impact to kind of break some of that rust free, and it'll pop right out. You'll see the new hoses that we got down here for the power steering line. They come right up to this here hydro booster. I've never seen anything like this, but this here does not use vacuum to build your boost pressure for your pressure for your brakes. It uses the power steering pump, pumps fluid up here. So you'll see the hoses that go down here for the power steering come up to this hydro boost here, and it uses that as a hydraulic system to build pressure for your brakes, so you got power assist brakes. Pretty cool system. I learned a lot about that too. So as you can see, it's actually not in bad condition over here. It is more the tailgate. That's an easy fix. I already found one. We're gonna be going to picking it up, and then I need to order a whole new quarter for over here. And I think if we fix this one up, I think this truck will be a really cool truck to hold on to, just because of how rare these are becoming with the 1500s that came stock with a Detroit diesel 6.5. So let's do a cold start. So while we're waiting for that to warm up so I can shut it back down and talk a little bit more about it, so we'll come in here. We did get the motor pulled with the 240 right there and the transmission. And yesterday we went and cleaned it really good and got all that grime there, right there on that cross member bar, on the motor mounts, up on the back part of the firewall. We got it all cleaned up. We're ready to start repairing some of this stuff and cleaning it up and getting it ready for the new motor. I really haven't done too much on this, but I'll start ramping this one up just since winter is fully hit. And we got the Blazer going as well too. So she's ready to go, and we're gonna start putting that motor back together. Starting to get this cleaned up and get this all painted up real nice. We're going to be pulling all the AC stuff out. We're not going to keep it on. You can see all that damage on the side there, where we're going to be re-welding all that up, stiffen it back up so it's nice and stable again, and getting it ready so that we can actually turn the wheel further in. We're thinking about extending these fenders out a little bit, the inner fenders, for drifting. Okay, so as you can see, this is the new project we'll be working on in the spring. For right now, I'm just gonna drive it around and we're gonna just keep doing maintenance on it. One of the things that you need to understand about the 6.2 and 6.5s, if you do not do maintenance on them, they will become unreliable. They won't run right. As you saw, this one here has some exhaust leaks that we still have to fix up. But for the most part, it is running really good, even though it's only about 40 degrees outside. It took a little bit longer for it to start. But we are going to be working towards getting the block heater fixed as well too, so we can plug that in and make it more reliable. So hope you guys like this video. I hope some of this helps out. We're going to be doing an actual video on more information of this truck. Like I said, this truck is a 1500 series. You don't see these with diesels unless somebody swaps them out. I know they're rare. Ford and Dodge, I don't think ever made a 1500 series truck with a diesel. They were always 2500 series or higher. I know the Chevy, I've only seen the 2500 and 3500s with these diesels. When I came across this, I was like, holy crap, this is like really cool. So we're gonna start working on this, and it's just really cool. Like it's the same motor they use in the Humvees, and as you can tell, it sounds like a Humvee just sitting there. So hope you guys like this video. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next time. Stay warm. Peace.